Okay, today I'm going to be talking about the use of Beatmap. Why Beatmap? That's the thing. Beatmap is a juggling notation, but also Siteswap is a juggling notation. Multiplet and, synchronous Siteswap. Let's put that aside for now. Let's just talk about vanilla Siteswap. Why sometimes vanilla Siteswap and why Beatmap? And I'm going to explain why Beatmap is better in some cases for communicating patterns more clearly. Because Siteswap has got all these assumptions that have to go with it, which is great if you're only talking about two hands juggling one after the other, left, right, left, right, left, right, whatever you want. But as soon as it gets more complicated than that, you might need some more depth. So I'm going to talk about how to notate a juggling pattern, and the juggling pattern that I'm going to talk about is one which is you've got a pirouette. In fact, it's got two pirouettes in it. It's a three object, I'm going to do it with clubs, three clubs, three high, double pirouette, but in two stages. So I'm going to catch some between the spins. It's a bit messy, and I made that look way more difficult than it really is because I was juggling outside with the sun in my eyes wearing sandals. I don't know why I did it that way, but that's what I did. So it's a two-stage 720, some people call it that, if you're going to count the degrees that you spin. That was about a 715 though. So let's do this in vanilla Siteswap. Now, pirouette aren't notated in vanilla Siteswap, but there are some assumptions that we make when we're communicating between jugglers. If there's two zeros next to each other or two twos next to each other, you can just generally say, we know that's where a pirouette is going to be. So let's start off with the three object patterns. So we've got a 3. The next beat is a 3. Okay, let's start. Okay, so let's say right hand, left hand. This is going to be, let's say this way, this is going to be a medium high throw, and the next one is going to be a medium high throw, and the next one is going to be a high throw. And we saw that before because I do 2 yay high and then 1 much higher. These don't have to go as high because under this we're only going to spin around once and do 1 throw, and under this we've got to spin around twice and do 2 catches and another throw. So that's going to come many beats later. So this is going to be 3, 3, and then whatever's going to come in here. We're going to do a medium throw, a high throw, then we're going to spin around. And in Siteswap spin, it generally takes 2 beats to notate in, async Siteswap. So I'm going to put a 0 and a 0. And we know there's a 0, 0 because we span around and our hands are empty. And we're going to say it takes 2 beats to spin around and hands are empty. And then we catch this one here. So if we're going to catch that one on that beat there, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to notate it again there. We're going to notate it as a hold. So that's going to be a 2. Okay? So that's going to be, what did I say? That was a 5. So 5, a space, a space, a space, a space, and then we're going to notate it again. And this is a spin here, okay. And then we're going to do the same thing again here because this is going to land there. So this is also going to be a 5. And it's going to land there, and we're going to hold it for 2 beats, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're also going to do a spin here, okay? Now, before we catch this one again, we've got to make space for it in the hand, okay? So we're going to do a throw.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we're going to just do this as a normal three object cascade again. So this is going to be over here, we're going to do a 3. That's that one there, okay?
Okay.
And then we've made space in the hand for this one to be caught. Or have we?
So is this then a 7?
Yeah, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, we're going to have to do a 3. Ah, yes, because again, with Siteswap, this is what I'm making sure. I forgot, we don't actually say when it's caught, we're actually going to say when it's going to be thrown again. So actually we do another throw over here with this hand. Okay, that hand also does a throw, and then this one throws next. Again, I forgot, because we're talking about Siteswap, that we're not talking about when it's being caught, we're actually talking about when it's being thrown again. So that's, right, so this is going to be a 7 here, and it's going to be thrown again all the way down there. So what do we have? We have a 3, 3, 2 medium throws, a high throw, a spin, which is going to take 2 beats here, another spin, which is going to take 2 beats, and then back into the cascade pattern again. These all come down, these two come down here, and this one goes even higher and comes down, actually it comes down here and is caught here, but it's thrown again there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But generally you don't write underneath the numbers, you don't write MMH spin spin.
No, so this is just for us.
Exactly. So generally you would just see 3 3 5 5 7 0 0 2 2 3 3 3.
Yes, but as jugglers, yeah, this is the thing.
What tells you that it is a spin?
Well, that's the thing. It's just assumed that if you say, hey, here's the Siteswap that I'm doing as a double pirouette, people who look at this will know, that's the only place where the 2 spins could be.
Okay, but you have to say And
Yeah, but
it includes a spin.
outside of the pattern, you have to say, oh, this is a spin and this is a spin.
And you can't write it down just within the notation.
No, because vanilla Siteswap is literally just a series of digits.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Let's now see how this works in Beatmap. And for Beatmap, actually, I'm gonna do the notation down here, but I'm gonna kind of see if I can line it up a bit. Is this gonna make sense?
Right. Yes.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is let's just say we're gonna have. Well, I'm going to do it this way, so right hand, left hand. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I'm going to do, there's going to be columns of time down, time is going to go down this way, and we're going to have a hand, and then something else is going to go in here, which I'm going to say in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Just write it down first.
So here we go. So this is a right hand at the top and a left hand here, and we're going to do some commas in between. Okay. So what we have here is a 3 in this hand. So when we convert that into Beatmap, we're going to call it a 2x, 2x1. Okay. So we're going to do a throw here and a 1 there. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
This one is going to be a 2x, and then we're going to do a 1 here. Okay, now what we're going to do, we've got to now decide how long does it take to spin around? Now, again, with Siteswap, it has to be this just for the numbers to work out because the objects are crossing, but it doesn't actually take 2 beats to spin around, because if it did take 2 beats to spin around, well, you're spending a lot of time spinning around. Actually, let's say in Beatmap, it only takes 1 beat to spin around.
Okay.
But we're still going to do the same thing again. This one here is going to be a medium high throw, and then another medium high throw. So let's just leave these blank for now, okay? But there's going to be a medium high throw there, okay? And this is going to be held. We're going to do the same thing again. So this is going to be a crossing throw, and this is going to be another medium, okay? And over here is going to be a hold, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a high throw, and the high throw is going to come from this hand again. This is going to be the high throw, and it's going to cross through the side. And here is actually an empty hand. Okay, so let's just fill this out. If we're only going to spin around, here, okay? So we're going to have an empty hand when we spin, and an empty hand when we spin, okay? So what's these numbers? If this one now is going to land here, it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's write that in there. That's going to be a 4, and I'm going to catch it here.
Yeah.
Now the problem is there any reason why I should then wait another beat to catch this one? Because the reason I ask that is because when I do this trick, I actually do it slightly different. I actually do this thing and I throw them up, and guess what happened then? I actually caught them right on the same beat. Notationally on the same beat, so it's catch, and I caught them both.
What?
And the reason I catch them both is because it just makes it easier that I'm not waiting around, it's just a catch and I spin around. Whereas over here, I'm going to throw them up, I'm going to go catch, catch, and I'm waiting in between, and it actually, when I'm spinning around, I'm going to I spin and then I catch and I catch. Whereas if I just keep spinning, as long as I spin around and I come around at the right time, I can kind of just catch them both out of the air, and my momentum can keep going. I don't have to do a catch and then wait a bit and then another catch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that same thing again. So this one is going to be caught on the same beat. I'm going to catch it there and hold it when I do this next spin. So it doesn't have to be a 4, it's actually going to be a 3. So this one goes over there, and this one goes here.
Yeah.
But I'm catching them both on the same beat. Then, on that beat, I'm going to catch them, and then I'm going to spin on the next beat again.
Yeah.
Okay, and while I spin on the next beat, what I'm going to actually do is just hold them both.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. And so now I'm here. So what I need to do now is this throw is going to come over here. It was a 7 over there, okay? But this time we're just going to call it a 5x, and I'll explain why in a second. 5x. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to make space for it in this hand over here. Sorry, in this hand over here, and I'm going to catch it there again. So there's a space here. There's a bit here. And so that means I need to make a space for it here, so I'm going to do this as a 2x, yeah?
Yeah.
That's going to go over there, and this one I'm going to hold one more beat, and then I'm going to do a 2x here. Okay, and if you realise, we're now back to the top again. This beat is the same as this beat up here.
Right, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
So this is going to be a 5x, and this is being caught here, and then the next time it's going to be thrown as a 2x, and that's a 1. So you could
just put a star across.
Well, I could put a star, but yeah, if I put a star there, it means then I repeat it and do it the other way around, okay?
Oh, right.
The great thing, well, let me put it this way. At this point, I've demonstrated that we don't have to like lift up async or sync above each other. It's okay to do async throws and then a sync catch if we want.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no reason why not, and in fact it actually makes everything lower down, because if this was a 4x and that was a 4x, that would have to be a 6x, and we actually see that here. So if this is a 5 and a 5 and a 7, like one value lower each time, because we're also counting what's going on the other hand, so that's like, would be a 5, because we've got a 4 and a 1, and this would be a 5 if we had a 4 and a 1, and then this one would have to be a, this would be a 6x, even though there's nothing handy there, we've got an empty hand, but that would be a 6x, which means everything would have to be higher, and we can demonstrate that it would have to be higher, because when we have to do a catch, wait, catch, and then spin, we actually need to give ourselves more time for that. So by looking at this and saying, hey, we can do 2 catches at the same time, even if we threw them at different times, it allows us, it opens up our mind to allow ourselves to do a simultaneous catch, a synchronous catch, even in what would normally be an async pattern. Now, this brings up what I just searched for online, because I thought it might be fun to talk about, which is the Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis. I can't even say the word hypothesis.
Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis.
With the idea being that it states that the structure of the language determines or greatly influences, I'm not entirely sure if this is really true, but let's bring it up anyway, greatly influences the modes of thought and the behavior characteristics of the culture in which it is spoken. When we actually look at this, if this is the only way that you know how to notate a pirouette, when someone gives it to you, you're going to do the 5 and the 5, you're going to do them to the same height, and you're going to catch them one after each other. You're going to go, well, that's going to be a double, so that's going to be a double, or it's going to be a triple and a triple. Whereas I say, nah, that one's going to be, that one's going to be a triple, and that one's going to be a double, and they're going to come down and catch them at the same time. Beatmap allows you to free your mind to say what can be notated through time. It doesn't have to be async or synchronous, which makes it really great to transition from synchronous to asynchronous, but also it just allows you to just think about patterns in a different way. Why should it be a triple and a triple? Why can't it be a triple and a double and just catch them both at the same time? We've got 2 empty hands, we're both waiting for the clubs to come down, just do it then. The other great thing about Beatmap is that it doesn't just say you can only notate throws and catches. You may be thinking, what's this going on here?
Yeah, okay. You mentioned an empty space.
Yeah,
right?
This is the empty space. We can actually notate, we've got the key up here, right hand, left hand. We can notate something else here, but we need to say what it is in the key at the top of the pattern. Because if it was just right hand, left hand, I wouldn't have really needed to say right hand, left hand. But let's say what we're going to do is we're going to, in this column down here, we're going to, let me just draw a line down here. What would be in this column? We're going to say this is the column of is Luke facing north or not? Right. Okay. Luke.
So it's Luke orientation.
Luke orientation, yeah, that's it. Luke north, okay. So, I've not much space here, but if you were going to write this out longer, you would say this column is that is Luke facing north or not. So let's just go down here, okay. On this beat, is Luke facing north? Let's just say he is at the start, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so yes he is, we're 1 there. Is Luke facing north? Is he facing north? Yes. And what we can do is come all the way down here, and then we go, okay, in this place, actually we know I'm going to be spinning on that beat, remember? So I actually need to be, is Luke facing north? I need to be 0 there during the pirouette. And also here, this is the second pirouette. Is Luke facing north? No, he isn't facing north. So actually at this point, we say, well, I'm next going to be facing north there. So let's do that as a 2. And I'm next going to be facing north at the end of the trick again here, so that's also going to be a 2. So we see, oh, that's not very good. I can't write upside down. And this actually makes sense, because when you do a throw, you're going, it's next going to be here. And it actually feels the same. When you do that throw out of the cascade to do a final high throw, you're kind of doing the high throw and launching yourself round sideways at the same time. So what you can actually think of is that I'm not throwing my body is being held. Here, I'm going to throw it. And I'm going to be, like, my body is going to be elsewhere for a beat, and then it comes back for 1 beat as I do this catch, and then I'm going to throw it again. So here we sort of get a whoosh, whoosh kind of moment on, and then back to I am facing north again. Right. And of course, if we wanted to do this as a half pirouette, we could also do it as a half pirouette, and then we could sort of like have 2 columns, Luke facing north, Luke facing south, and I could say this is a 2x, and so I could go over here and catch these 2 clubs here on this side, and then a 2x back again. You know. So there's different ways to say if it's just a normal pirouette, you don't need to say which way is he facing. It doesn't matter which way I'm facing, I'm just not facing north. So you could also write full pirouette and then say 1, 1, 1, 1. Well, you could do, but actually really what's happening is Luke facing north. Whereas if you want to do a column encoding in actually what's happening here, it's possible to do that in Beatmap. In Siteswap, not so much unless you start writing underneath, but then where is time and how do the columns line up? Right. So that's another thing. Beatmap doesn't even prioritize, I mean I have in this pattern because I did this first, but it doesn't even prioritize hands over bodies And hands with objects or orientation of hands, you can say, oh, is the hand facing upwards or is it facing downwards? You know, am I going to do a claw catch and a claw throw? Or it can be a penguin. Is my hand in penguin position? Not. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I've talked about the orientation of my body. And been able to do that with pirouettes. So there you go, a bit of Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Freeing up the language that your brain thinks in lets you explore, it kind of frees up your body to try out different juggling. And let's see that final trick again that I was doing from in a kind of a zoom up place. So it's a throw, and as I do that throw, I'm spinning and I'm catching around about the same time. One more try there. So I'm going up and catch two at the same time and back round. So, is that good? Did you learn something today?
I did.
That's cool.